Hi, I'm Christy Largent. Welcome to my channel. I am so glad you came in. Today we are going to be looking at how to find the bright side and stay positive even when you hate your job. I've got some ideas I think will really help. All right, so the first tip I have for you in order to stay positive when you hate your job is to start looking around you and try to improve where you are. So I know this seems a little bit counterintuitive if you totally hate your job, but what happens if you start looking around for ways to make it better where you are is it gives you a fresher look, a fresher eyes, it gives you more energy, it gives you a feeling of control. Because what you're doing, instead of just sitting there waiting for things to happen to you, is you're taking control and you're being proactive with the opportunities in your workplace. For example, is there a project that you could spearhead? Or are there additional responsibilities you could ask to take on? Or maybe you want to switch your time. So instead of coming in really early, you come in a little bit later. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that will pop up when you start looking with eyes, looking for opportunities right where you are. Okay, so the second thing you want to do after you've already improved it as much as you can improve it where you are, the second thing that you want to start doing is you want to start researching what opportunities are out there outside of your workplace. So what I recommend you do is write down, make a big long list of everything that you'd possibly like to do. Just don't keep anything off the list. Put everything on there. I mean, if you want to be a dog walker, put that on there. If you want to cut hair, if you want to travel the world, if you want to be a tour guide, if you want to be a CPA, I mean, I don't really care what it is. The idea is you're going to write down every dream or idea that you've ever had, that you ever want to be, and compile it on a list. And then you're going to start researching what opportunities are available where you are. Look at where you are. As you're making that list, you're going to say, okay, do I need to go out of the area for some of these? Or will I need to leave the country for some of these? So you're really going to deep dive into the research. This is really important not to shortcut this, because what will happen when you start making these lists and you start getting these ideas together is one idea will generate another idea, which will generate another idea. And you will be so amazed. One little secret tool that I do sometimes with this is I'll set a timer for 20 minutes, and then you just brainstorm as much as you can in that 20 minutes, writing down all of the different opportunities that you might want to do, you might want to look into. Don't erase anything at this point. You are just starting to make a list and then research all the opportunities. And the more you research, the more things are going to become clear for you. So I have an example for you on this. When my husband and I were first married, we had tried to have biological kids. We weren't able to, and so we decided we were going to adopt. And I had a really funny feeling about adoption. I wasn't too keen on it, but I thought, well, I'm teaching people to do research on these ideas. I think I better start doing it myself. So I started researching it. I started looking into all the opportunities, and I discovered as I was researching that some countries were not such a good fit for us, like Russia. It required 2 different trips. You had to leave your child there after the first trip. I mean, it just wasn't a fit. For different reasons, other countries weren't a fit for us. But when I found out about China, I'm like, oh my gosh, China is a perfect fit. They love older parents. We were older parents. They like stable families. We were a stable family. They liked a track record of success and stability, which we had. So it was like all the pieces started aligning, and China became the first choice, which is where we ended up going to get both of our children. But I would have never known that if I hadn't started researching what the possible opportunities were. So that's the kind of example of what kind of things will come up as you start looking, specifically with your job, thinking and researching and looking into opportunities for work and for what you want to do maybe when you're not in this job that you hate, remember? Okay, so the third thing that you want to do after you've already looked around and made it as best as you can make it where you are right now, Second thing you've done is you started researching all your options. The third thing you want to do is develop a plan of action. And this is where the rubber hits the road and it gets really exciting, because this is the point where you can start actually taking steps. They might be baby steps, they might be bigger steps, but you're actually taking steps towards what you want to do. So as you develop this plan of action, you start thinking, okay, in the next few weeks, this is what I need to do. In the next month, this is what I need to do. In the next 3 months, this is what I need to do. Because what'll happen is when you make in your research phase, you're gonna be like, okay, so for example, say you wanna be a tour guide. Well, what are the steps that you have to take in order to move yourself from where you are here to being a tour guide? And you may have to get some sort of license, you may have to move yourself, you may have to get some support resources for you, you may have to align yourself with another or a tour organization. I mean, these are all the things that would have to be done. In step 3, when you start making a plan of action, you're gonna just list all those things out so that you can begin doing them as you go down the list. So that's actually a really fun part, because as you're developing the plan of action, you start seeing changes, you start seeing things happening. And the interesting thing is when you are doing all of these things, right, you are gonna end up being better at the job that you're currently doing. You're gonna end up with a more positive attitude because you're experiencing that sense of control, and that really makes things feel better on every level. And another thing I'm gonna add in here is that maybe during your research time, what you may discover is that you can add in something like that you've been wanting to do. Say you wanted to learn how to tap dance. So you sign up for a tap dance class, you start taking tap dance lessons, and you know, oh, I don't want to be a tap dance teacher, you know, I don't want to do this full time, but just adding it into your life brings so much joy that it makes the job that you're doing in your work life even more fun. So I just throw that in there as a little extra, because sometimes just adding those kind of like bonus activities into your life helps you have a better attitude and a better outlook so that you can enjoy your job more. Okay, so you've done the 3 things that I mentioned already, and now I'm going to give you the 4th little magic key, and that is, no matter what situation you're in right now, no matter where you are in the journey, whether you're just starting out or whether you've already done a plan of action and you're on the move to your new career or new job, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to get a little notebook and I want you to put it in your car, and every night when you finish work and you get in your car and you get ready to leave, I want you to write down 3 things that you're thankful for that happened during the day. It's called a gratitude journal. And science has been showing us, they've been doing all this research lately, and they show that the last thing that happens to you in an environment, like the last thing that happens to you at work or the last thing that happens to you in the morning before you leave for work, that last thing that happens in an environment is the thing that you remember. So by forcing yourself, before you even turn on the car, after you've strapped yourself in, pull out your little gratitude journal and jot down those 3 things. And what'll happen is it'll reset your brain so that when you're home at night, you won't be thinking about that jerk that works in the cubicle next to you, or you won't be thinking about your boss who drives you crazy, or you won't be ruminating over how much you hate your job. Instead, your brain and its subconscious is gonna be working, thinking about the good stuff that happened during the day. I promise, if you start looking for that good, something to be thankful for, 3 things every night, it will rock your world. And to me, it's like the magic cure for unhappiness and discontent at work is really recognizing you have so much power to think about how grateful you can be and how thankful you can be for the things that currently are. And then at the same time, you're taking positive, concrete action towards living the way you really want to live. That will help you live a more positive life. So I hope this was really helpful for you. I love bringing things like this. I think it adds to our lives. And if I can help you live a more positive life, I am going to be so happy, because I know when we live in a more positive frame of mind, everything is better. Our relationships are better. Our work is better. Our focus is better. We just feel better. We're physically better. So that's my goal with you here on this channel, as I help you find the bright side of life. So please be sure to subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video when it comes out. Be sure to ring the bell so that you'll get notified. And if this was helpful, please feel free to share it with your friends. Leave leave me a comment and let me know, how do you find the bright side in your life? What are some things that you do that work for you? I'd love to hear it. Until then, I'll see you next time right here on The Bright Side.